Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Har Har Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Ramannasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhavatu me Bho Rama Mamuddhara. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Akhandam Satchidanandam Avang Manasa Gocharam Atmanamakhilādharam Ashraye Bhishta Siddhaye Arthatopyadvayanandan Ati Tadvaita Bhanatah Gurunaradhya Vedanta Saram Vakshe Yathamati. Hari Om. We had completed the portion of Mahavakya Vichara. We saw how to analyze Tattvamasi Mahavakya, and then it was Aham Brahmasmi Mahavakya. After this, Swamiji started a topic on the sadhanas for self-realization. Chapter 5, the title is Steps to Self-Realization. Three main components are there of this sadhana. What we otherwise know as Jnana Abhyasa or Jnana Tapasya. What is Tapasya on the path of knowledge? Tapasya on the path of knowledge is to do Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam. That will take us to our goal. That alone is sufficient to make us reach our goal. All other sadhanas are to lead us up to this. So we had seen the difference between Bahiranga sadhana, the external practices the sadhaka does, and Antaranga sadhana. Antaranga, because predominance is of mind. Although for Shravanam, physical body has to be fit, able to sit in one place for an extended period of time. But the one who is really doing the work there is mind. So now Swamiji is going to elaborate what is the way to do Shravanam, how to do Mananam, and how to do Nididhyasanam. Now somebody might say, Swamiji, you could have mentioned this in the beginning of the text. Now we are almost going to conclude, And now we are told, oh, this is how I should do Shravanam. But the thing is, in the beginning, everything cannot be told. The elaboration which Swamiji is doing here, if we had done it in the beginning, the student would have asked, okay, when are we starting the text? So teaching is given first, and then it is assumed that Vedanta is an ongoing journey. Whenever we get new ideas, whenever we get new perspectives, that sadhaka tries to internalize that new perspective. So now somebody might have done Shravanam for a long time, but when he reads this definition, he realizes there is a difference. One type of Shravanam was mentioned in the Adhikari Lakshana. Apatata Shravanam. The knowledge that this student has is apatata. Apatata means what? Now and then he has done Shravanam. Few texts have been studied. That is called as apatata Shravanam. It is not that he is totally clueless about Vedanta. He has some knowledge. He reads in between, listens in between. But there is no sequence in which he is studying those texts. Shravanam mentioned here is called as Vidhivat Shravanam. Vidhivat Shravanam. Vidhi means systematically. Vidhivat, if you want to translate in English, systematic Shravanam. That is what is expected from a sadhaka. Now, what all things are included in Vidhivat Shravanam? One is systematic understanding of Adhyaropa and Apavada. Which part is talking about sadhana, Adhyaropa part, keeping this ahankara as real, giving different perspectives so that we can cultivate a beautiful mind. Which part is Adhyaropa and which part is Apavada? Apavada is knowing that I am not this mind and not any conditioning outside. Laya Prakriya we had seen. So Adhyaropa and Apavada will come in every text because that is the main method of teaching. So getting clarity about what is Adhyaropa and clarity about what is Apavada, that is considered as Vidhivat Shravanam, thorough Shravanam. If we only discuss Adhyaropa, means if you only discuss how to take care of this mind and not go to Apavada part, that won't be considered as thorough Shravanam. It's possible some texts might be like that because their prayojanam is different. They would only talk about certain aspect of sadhana. On the other hand, only Apavada. If somebody does only Apavada, that also is not considered thorough Shravanam. If Adhyaropa is not understood properly and only Jagat is dismissed as Mithya, so this sadhaka will not know what to keep and what to let go of. Because really speaking, Vedanta is interested in telling us everything is Brahma. The understanding of this knowledge is, other than Brahma, there is nothing else. And Brahma is non-dual. There is no vikara in Brahma. And I see this Jagat which has so much of vikara. Then we say, if this is, both sentence cannot be true. Everything is Brahma also, everything is vikari also. Then we understand vikara is only an appearance. Vikara is not absolutely real. Unreal and real can coexist together. Real and real cannot coexist together. Two different realities. So snake is unreal, rope is real, they can coexist. But two snakes or two ropes, one of a different type, second one of a different type, you cannot say both of them are together at the same time. Main takeaway is unreal and real can coexist, getting this clarity about Jagat Mithyatva, understanding what is Adhyaropa, understanding what is Apavada. Another definition of Vidhivat Shravanam is the Shrota. Listener sits with Varanam. Varanam means he single-pointedly seeks this truth. It could happen, previously also he did Shravanam, but he was not seeking this single-pointedly. If I get it, it's okay. If I don't get it also, it's fine. That might be a thought. But what is considered as Vidhivat Shravanam is when that Shrota sits down with single-pointed goal as Brahma. And last definition of, or last facet included in Vidhivat Shravanam is when one studies Prasthanatrayi. One studies Prasthanatrayi. Prasthanatrayi means Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and Bhagavad Gita. How many we study, that depends upon our ability, opportunity, everything is there. But we should get a glimpse of all three. Prasthanatrayi, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and Bhagavad Gita. If possible, with Shankar Bhashya. Why this is important? Because later Swamiji's, last time we saw that verse, he says, what is Shravanam? Getting this clarity that Advaita alone is the Pratipadanam, is the main conclusion of all these texts that we are studying. Advaita alone, if you want, you can come to that verse, 182. Shravanam nama shadvida lingaihi ashesha vedantanam. Ashesha means not leaving out even one. Take away everything, whatever texts are there in Vedanta. Advitiya vastuni tatparya avadharana. Their main conclusion, their main purport is in Advitiya vastu. Being able to have this clarity is called as Shravanam. At least I should understand that this is what Vedanta is saying. It is not talking about Dvaita. It is not talking about Vishishta Dvaita or any other topics which are there within Vedanta also. Like we had seen, Sadhana Chatushtaya, Panchakosha Viveka, all those topics might be there. But this Tatparya is not there. And if we on our own take up an Upanishad and start reading it, very difficult to come to this conclusion. Because so many things are discussed. There will be Upasana which is discussed. There will be some other thing which is taken up for discussion. Only with guidance of Shankar Bhashya, one can come to this conclusion that firmness in our understanding that what is really spoken about is Advitiya Vastu. Okay. Savadhanamana Shrunumana Mahi. Bhagwan Rama told Shabariji, the main criteria was listen carefully. Now comes the elaboration of that word Shadvida Linga. In verse 182, there was this word used, right? Shravanam nama Shadvida Lingaihi Ashesha Vedantanam Advitiya Vastuni Tatparyam. So what is meant by Shadvida Linga? They are the 6 indicators by which we can know essence of any subject matter. 6 indicators. Our rishis have done the job. We just have to appreciate how they have presented topics. Let us see 183 and 84 together. Lingani tu Upakramah-Upasamharah Abhyasa Apurvata Phala Arthavada Upapatti Akhyani Taduktam Upakramopasamharo Upakramopashamharo Abhyaso Purvata Phalam Abhyaso Purvata Phalam Arthavadopapatti cha Arthavadopapatti cha Lingam Tatparya Nirnaye Lingam Tatparya Nirnaye Shadvida Linga, 6 limbs. What are they? Upakrama. Upakrama means what is said in the beginning. Upakrama means what is said in the beginning. Upasamhara, what is said in the end. So a good presentation is that where the main Tatparya is clearly stated in the beginning and is concluded in the end. There might be several things said in between, but he said whatever the main topic has to be communicated, that is said in the beginning, that is said in the end. This is the first limb. Pay attention to Upakrama, the beginning part and the end part. First limb is both together. Upakrama and Upasamhara together. Beginning and end together becomes first limb. Second one is Abhyasa. What is repeated in that particular text, in that particular Vedantic composition that we are studying? Where is the repetition coming? And it is said whatever is the main message, that message has to be repeated. So in any text, wherever you find Abhyasa, if you pay close attention to that, we will find Tatparya there. Swamiji will give examples. Now he is just defining the words. Upakrama-Upasamharah, first limb. Second limb is Abhyasa. Third limb is Apurvata. Apurvata means uniqueness. What is said here will not be known through any other means. So this Advitiya Vastu, if that is the Tatparya, it will also be pointed out as the uniqueness. That by no other means you can know this thing. 3 limbs done. Upakrama-Upasamhara, Abhyasa, Apurvata. Apurvata means uniqueness. Fourth limb is Phalam. If you know this Tatparya, what is it that we will get? Phalam means result. Result of knowing that Tatparya, wherever that is pointed out. Or if you pay attention to that Phalam, we will come to know that without this Tatparya, such a result is not possible. So wherever result is pointed out, there we should pay attention. We will find Tatparya there. Fourth limb was Phalam. Fifth one is Arthavada. Arthavada means wherever there is praise of something. Wherever there is praise of something, the main Tatparya, that will be praised. What happens by knowing that Advitiya Vastu? That praise, wherever it is there, that is called as Arthavada. Now, Arthavada and Phalam might look very similar. Phalam also says what happens when you know Advitiya Vastu. But if you say Arthavada, it is only a praise, and sometimes it will look similar to Phalam. 5 done. Upakrama-Upasamharah, Abhyasa, Apurvata, Phalam. 4 are done. And then 5th one was Arthavada. Last one is Upapatti. Upapatti means wherever there is effort taken to logically explain something. In the entire text, wherever the teacher takes effort to put forth logic, he says Tatparya will be in that thing. If it was not the Tatparya, they would have just mentioned it, not taken the effort to use Yukti. Upapatti means logic or Yukti. So wherever logic is used, it is said that is what is our main message that we want to communicate. Now, is Atma Chaitanya Rupa or Jada? In Kenopanishad we saw this. Bhagavan does elaborate discussion with all other darshanas. Whoever has taken Atma to be inert. Now, if he has used so much of Yukti there, means what? Tatparya is in knowing Advitiya Atma as Swaprakasha. Self-illuminating, or the one which has light of its own. One which is of the nature of knowledge. In that there is Tatparya. Okay, 6 limbs to come to understand what is the main message of that particular grantha, that particular text. So if somebody has done Shravanam for whatever number of years, one should be able to come to this conclusion that whatever Vedanta is saying has its main Tatparya in Advitiya Vastu. Advitiya means that non-dual truth, what Bhagavan Shankaracharya summarized in one sentence. So many texts are there. He said it has the main message as Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. That truth alone is absolute Brahma, and Jagat Mithya, everything else is Jagat, which is Mithya. Whatever is known as Idam is Jagat. Starting from this Ahankara. Mind is also known as this mind. Because of error, we call it as my mind. Even my mind is okay. I am the mind. That is the true error. Body is also part of Idam. I know this as this. Whatever is known as Idam, that is part of Jagat, he says that is Mithya. Vedanta over? Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya? He says no. Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. I am that Brahman. This Jiva is not different from that Brahma. This, if somebody appreciates, then our Shravanam is thorough. Shravanam is thorough. That is this main teaching. Now, Tatparya, we had seen during Praman Vichara also. When we did Shabda Pramana, we said even in our day-to-day life, if we can apply these limbs, we can communicate a message better. Of course, to apply it in all conversations become difficult, but at least in the main ones. Remember that example we had seen of a report, a research paper. How do we write it? Whatever is the main finding is mentioned in the beginning, mentioned in the end. Abstract and conclusion. Upakramah-Upasamharah. And whatever we want to communicate, repetition is there. In several places, that thing will be repeated. Abhyasa. We'll put forth effort to distinguish our work from somebody else's work. After literature review, so many people have done similar work. What is it that sets aside our work from theirs? That is called as apurvata. What is the result of this finding? Having done that particular experiment or whatever we were searching, what did we accomplish? That is called as phalam, result. And Arthavada, whenever we have to submit it somewhere else, we'll praise that work. Means in a good way, whatever it has done, which others have not done probably before. Arthavada, upapatti. A lot of logic is also used to establish that main Tatparya. This is just to appreciate the example, appreciate the main point of Tatparya. There are different limbs by which we can emphasize that main message. Think of it differently. If somebody asks us, what is the Tatparya of your day? Okay. We are living our life. Dinayaminyao sayam pratah shishiravasanto punarayatah. What is the Tatparya of your day? Apply the same limbs. You'll get a unique answer. How do I start my day? How do I end my day? How do we start our day? How do we end our day? What is that thought we keep repeating during the day? In and through all our transactions, what do we keep repeating? What do we consider as a unique element of our day? Something that you'd be very proud of sharing with others. What is our uniqueness? Having lived that day, what did we finally get in our hand? The previous one was Apurvata, uniqueness. And then having lived our day, what did we get in our hand? Phalam. Arthavada, what part of our day do we feel was praiseworthy? What accomplishment during the day we feel was praiseworthy? And where did we put forth effort to reason out things? Where did we put forth effort to reason out things? If somebody has a clear goal, then their Tatparya, that goal, will fall under each of these categories. For a spiritual seeker, he says, my day has to be Bhagavad-maya. My day should have Bhagwan as the Tatparya, Bhagwan as the essence. So how will he live his day? Start his day with remembrance of the Lord, Upakrama, end his day with remembrance of the Lord, Upasamharah. Abhyasa, repetition will happen of Bhagwan's name. Apurvata, the uniqueness which he feels in the form of grace, the uniqueness which he feels, otherwise he would not have gotten. That becomes his Apurvata. What did we get living that day? He says Bhagavad Bhakti. Phalam, he says, is in Bhagwan. Arthavada, what did I feel was praiseworthy? Whichever moment mind turned towards the Lord, he says that was praiseworthy. And then last one is Upapatti, Yukti. Whenever mind wanted to do something, reasoning out that, bringing it back on the strength of logic. He says that is his logic that he uses. With these 6 limbs, his Tatparya will be in Bhagwan. If we read Srimad Bhagavatam, all the gopis, you will find these 6 limbs there. Tatparya was in Bhagwan Krishna. That is the beauty of Tatparya Nirnaya. It looks like a technical topic, but it's very beautiful. We can keep reflecting in different ways. Now, Tatparya about any text will be also determined in the same way. So, Swamiji is going to take each limb and he is going to give examples now. He is taking Chandogya Upanishad, 6th chapter, but we will try to do parallelly with Kenopanishad also, to identify the 6 limbs in Kenopanishad, because you have studied that Upanishad, and appreciate how using Tatparya Nirnaya, we can come to Advitiya Vastu as Tatparya. 185. Prakarana Pratipadyasya Arthasya Tat Adyantayoho Upapadanam Upakramah-Upasamharah Yatha Chandogya Shashtadhyaye Prakarana Pratipadyasya Advitiya Vastunaha Ekam Eva Advitiyam Ityadau aitadatmyamidam sarvam. Aitadatmyamidam sarvam. Ityante cha pratipadanam. Prakarana pratipadyasya. Pratipadya means having deliberated upon something, the final message that is given. That is called as pratipadanam. Prakarana means in that portion, in that grantha, whatever the topic we are studying, the final message of that topic. So whatever was said as Tatparya before, now Swamiji is using the word Prakarana Pratipadya. Tatparya means the purport, main message. That is this Prakarana Pratipadya. Prakarana Pratipadyasya Arthasya. The main meaning which has to be communicated. Tad Adyantayoho Upapadanam. Upapadam means to ascertain or to establish. Establishing at the beginning and ascertaining or establishing at the end. Tad Adyantayoho Pratipadanam. This is called as Upakrama and Upasamharah. So whatever is to be communicated, don't keep the reader or the audience in suspense. State it clearly in the beginning and state it clearly in the end. They'll grasp it better. Okay. Upakrama, Upasamharo. This is how Upanishad mantras are also revealed. For example, in Chandogya Upanishad, Yatha Chandogya Shashta Adhyaye, 6th chapter of Chandogya, Prakarana Pratipadyasya. Entire 6th chapter, the main Pratipadanam is in Satvastu. 6th chapter is called as Satvidya. Sadeva Somya Idamagra Asit. That is the main teaching. So you see how the Upanishad starts. Swamiji says, Advitiya Vastunaha Ekam Eva Advitiyam. Sadeva Somya Idamagra Asit. Then the statement comes, Ekam Eva Advitiyam. That is where the teaching really begins. Although the previous portion talks about Shvetaketu, he went to the Gurukula, 12 years he studied there. Stabdaha, Anuchayamani. We saw this in last Thanksgiving camp, so it should be easier. Chandogya Upanishad 6th chapter we had studied. So he was very arrogant by the time he came back. And then the Upanishad Rishi, Uddalaka Muni, he asks some question. Although that part is mentioned in the beginning, that is not part of Tatparya. That is not the main message of that 6th chapter. The main message starts from Ekameva Advitiyam. That non-dual truth, that alone is Satvastu. That Sat you are. That is the main message. Later on, Abhyasa will come. Swamiji will say, Tattvamasi is the Abhyasa there. 9 times it is said. That part is repeated over and over again. But here he is just mentioning how Upakrama is. Whenever you see a text, the starting will be the Tatparya. Advitiya Vastu is the Tatparya. Therefore, here it is said, Ekam Eva Advitiyam. Now, how does this Upanishad end? So many experiments are there. Salt experiment is there. Nyagrodha Phala experiment is there. He says that is all not included in main Tatparya. It is to help Tatparya. Upanishad Upasamhara, he says, is in 8th chapter. What is the Upasamhara? He says, Ityadav aitadatmyam idam sarvam. That Satvastu which was there at the origin of creation, that Satvastu alone is this Atma. That Atma alone is everything. This is the final teaching. By 8th chapter, Upasamhara is done. What about other things? Other things are there, but they are not main Tatparya. It is just an elaboration on that Tatparya. For example, in Bhagavad Gita, it is said main teaching is done by 15th chapter. Starting from 2nd chapter, main teaching is complete by 15th chapter. 16, 17, 18 is miscellaneous topics. What Bhagwan left out in elaboration, he says, again, I will rehash the whole thing. That's a different Tatparya Nirnaya. One can do this Upakrama-Upasamharah for Bhagavad Gita also. You can do it for Srimad Bhagavatam. You can do it for Ramcharitmanas. What is Upakrama? What is Upasamhara? But whatever lens we take, we will find different Tatparya. If a dualist, Dvaita Acharya were to take Shadveda Linga, their Upakrama will be different. Their Upasamhara will be different. Vishishta Advaita Acharya, they will have different Tatparya. Because they also know the shloka. It is not that they didn't know the shloka and they came up with their own Tatparya. That is when discussion happens. So Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji says, if this is your Tatparya, then look at these points. And then they will respond something. But we don't need to go into that much of detail. The main thing is whatever our acharyas are telling us, that we have to appreciate. Ekameva advitiyam is the upakrama. Upasamhara is aitadatmamidam sarvam. Okay. Iti antecha pratipadanam. This is what is said at the end in Chandogya Upanishad, 6th chapter. Now come to Kenopanishad. What will be Upakrama of Kenopanishad? Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha. That is the question of the student. Real teaching begins with Shrotrasya Shrotram. That which is ear of the ear, that is Advitiya Vastu. And the teaching ends with Pratibodha Viditam Matam. Upasamhara is that which is known through every thought. Means that which is the witness of every thought, that is this Shuddha Chaitanya. Upakrama is Shrotrasya Shrotram. Upasamhara is Pratibodha Viditam Matam. Goswamiji says, Jehi Maho Adi Madhya Avasana Prabhu Pratipadya Rama Bhagavana. Tatparya of entire Ramcharitmanas, he says, is in Bhagwan Rama. At the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. What is really meant to be communicated, he says, is Bhagwan Rama. Don't miss that part. Other things are also said. How was wedding procession, arranged? How many things they made in that wedding procession? Everything was elaborated. You see how many dohas he elaborated? Everything. But he says Pratipadya was not in that celebration itself. Through that celebration, shift attention to the Lord. Rama is the Tatparya. So one limb is done. Upakrama-Upasamhara, Chandogya Upanishad, 6th chapter example was taken. Now Swamiji is taking 6th chapter for all limbs. Okay, what was the second limb? Abhyasa, repetition. So that is 186. Prakarana pratipadyasya vastunaha tanmadhye paunaf punyena pratipadanam abhyasah yatha tatra eva advitiya vastuni madhye tattvamasiti navakrutvaha pratipadanam. Prakarana pratipadyasya means tatparyasya. Of that main message which has to be communicated, advitiya vastu. Prakarana pratipadyasya vastunaha tan madhye paunaf punyena pratipadanam abhyasah. Means in and through that prakaranam, in and through that text you say or portion that you are studying, whatever is repeated, you say that will be the Tatparya. Or the Tatparya will be repeated several times in and through that text. Yatha tatra eva advitiya vastuni. In 6th chapter of Chandogya, that Advitiya Vastu which is Tatparya. Tan Vastuni Madhye Tattvamasi iti Navakrutvaha Pratipadanam. Tattvamasi Mahavakya is repeated 9 times. So Abhyasa is in Tattvamasi Mahavakya. So that even if you miss one of it, 2, 3, at least in the remaining ones, we can get it. Somebody shared recently in our Kenopanishad class, right at the moment when we were discussing something, the network signal dropped. So he was asking, what did we discuss before that? What did we discuss after that? This is why repetition is needed. Network dropping means what? Mind tuning out. Here it is network dropping. But we know when we listen to scriptures, something can distract us. Mind can go somewhere else. So Abhyasa is to make sure at the same time, teacher cannot afford to start some other topic. Right? Because he says, Shastra also has an objective. Teacher also has an objective. His job is very difficult actually. So he cannot start another topic because the student was tuning out. So his technique is repetition. And you see Upanishad Rishi, how he does it so beautifully, 6th chapter. With every repetition, he adds some unique point. Every time he gives some new experiment. Salt experiment is there. Negrodha Phala experiment is there. Honeybees, that experiment is there. So every repetition is with some other insight. But he says Tatparya is this only. I won't start any other topic because Shvetaketu is looking here, looking there or something. He says Tatparya is the same. So that Abhyasa is one technique of establishing that limba. Paunaf punyan pratipadanam abhyasah yatha tatra eva advitiya vastuni madhye tattvamasi iti navakrutvaha pratipadanam. Now in Kenopanishad, what is Abhyasa? There is one set of verses where the second line gets repeated 5 times. Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi. That is the Tatparya. Tadeva brahma tvam vidhi. Nedam yadidam upasati. That part is just to negate what you are not. That Brahma, which is not known through the mind, but that is the illuminator of the mind. Yan manasana manute yenahur manomatam. That Brahma which is not known through the mind, that because of which mind is able to know. Tadeva Brahma tvam vidhi. Yat chakshushana pashyati yena chakshumshi pashyati. That Brahman is that, or you are that Brahman, which cannot be seen through eyes. It is that because of which eyes can see. That Advitiya Vastu is the Tatparya that is repeated 5 times in Kenopanishad. So whatever is the repetition, there we will find Tatparya. Then the third limb was Apurvata, uniqueness. What is found here will not be known through any other pramana. What is Apurvata? Definition is given. Prakarana pratipadyasya advitiya vastunaha pramanantara avishayikaranam apurvata yatha tatra eva advitiya vastunaha manantara avishayikaranam. Prakarana pratipadyasya means tatparyasya. Of that tatparya, advitiya vastuna, that advitiya vastu, which is the tatparya, pramanantara avishayikaranam. Being able to understand this point, that this advitiya vastu cannot be known through any other pramana. Swamiji is saying, this should be our conviction after doing Shravanam. If you have done Shravanam thoroughly, we should be able to appreciate that this Advitiya Vastu cannot be known by any other means other than Shastra Pramana. Then only we have appreciated the Apurvata, In and through Shravanam, appreciating Apurvata means this. This in Pramana Vichara we had seen as Anadigatam. Whatever one Pramana can reveal, that object cannot be revealed by any other Pramana. For sense organs, we know that example, right? If I want to taste something and know whether it is spicy or sweet, no matter how much I stare, how much I listen to that object, knowledge of sweetness will not take place without rasanendriya. How straightforward this is? Is it like that he has understood? Without Upanishad, clarity about our nature as infinite consciousness, our nature as non-dual truth, it will never take place by any other means of knowledge. And in that you add anything that you want. In that other means of knowledge, this is other than Vedanta, whatever we want we can add. That is called as Apurvata. Now in 6th chapter of Chandogya, where is Apurvata mentioned? Yatha tatra eva advitiya vastunaha manantara avishayi karanam. The salt experiment which is there, that is to show Apurvata of Brahma Vidya. What was the salt experiment? Uddalaka Muni asked Shvetaketu to bring a lump of salt, Himalayan salt, that which doesn't dissolve right away. He said, put it in that water. Shvetaketu put it. Next day morning, he says, bring me that salt. Shvetaketu looks at it. He says, there is no salt. Whatever we had put, I don't see it. I don't know where it has gone. So then Uddalaka Muni must have said, stare carefully. Stare at that water carefully and see whether there is salt or not. He says, I'm seeing it, but I don't know. So then he says, okay, taste it from the top. Taste it from in between. Taste it from the bottom of that container. Wherever you taste, you are getting the knowledge of salt. Meaning what? To know salt, eyes are not the pramana. No matter how much you stare at it, you will not know whether there is salt or not. So you have to use right pramana, which is rasanendriya, tongue. In the same way, my child, to know that sat vastu, don't use your sense organs. Saumya, he says, right? Saumya means what? Oh dear one. Lot of efforts can be wasted if we take mind as the pramana. Logically, I will try to understand. Through sense organs, I will try to see this truth. He says it cannot be known through sense organs. This itself is the apurvata of that advitiya vastu, uniqueness. And this has to be pointed out in that shastra. That is when we will appreciate apurvata of it. Chandogya Upanishad, this is how it is pointed out. How is it pointed out in Kenopanishad? Na tatra chakshur gacchati, nava gacchati, no manaha, na vidmaha, na vijanimaha. It says this truth is that by where eyes cannot, this truth is that which eyes cannot see. Means pratyaksha pramana has no access in Brahma. Na vag gacchati. All other laukika shabda pramana which is there, other than Upanishad shabda pramana, it cannot know this truth. Other shabda pramana cannot know it. No manaha. No matter how logical we become about this truth, one cannot know it in its true essence. That is the apurvata, uniqueness of this truth. That is also the uniqueness of this shastra. So apurvata is pointed out. What was the fourth one? We saw Upakramah-Upasamharah, Abhyasa, Apurvata. Now we will see Phalam, the result. Phalam tu prakarana pratipadyasya atmajnanasya tat अनुष्ठानस्य वा तत्र तत्र श्रूयमाण प्रयोजनं यथा तत्र आचार्यवान् पुरुषो वेद तस्य तावदेव चिरं यावन्न विमोक्ष्ये अथ संपत्स्ये इति अद्वितीय वस्तु ज्ञानस्य तत्प्राप्तिः प्रयोजनं श्रूयते. What is phalam? What is result? Again, prakarana pratipadyasya of that tatparya, which is advitiya vastu, atma jnanasya, the knowledge of this advitiya vastu, whatever is mentioned about the result of abiding in this knowledge, he says that is called as phalam. Atma jnanasya tad anushtanasya va. Either it will be said that the one who abides in this knowledge accomplishes these things. Swamiji has given alternate meaning. He says, or tatra tatra shruyamanam prayojanam. Whatever is mentioned as the prayojanam, the purpose of study of Shastra, purpose of knowing this Advitiya Vastu, that is called as phalam. That is called as result. Chandogya 6th chapter, what is the phalam? It is said, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. The one who has studied this teaching from a teacher, Acharyavan, who has done all the... Acharyavan means what, you know? The one who follows the disciplines of a Shishya. Acharya title naturally goes with Shishya Bhava. So the one who is following all the disciplines of an Adhikari, whatever was pointed out, does his Nitya Karma, Naimitya Karma, has Shraddha in his heart, does Upasana, all of that is included in this word called as Acharyavan. The one who does whatever an Adhikari should do, whatever a Shishya should do. That person, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. There is no doubt this person will know this truth. He will definitely know it, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. And then what happens? Tasya tavadeva chiram yavanna vimokshe. The moment sadhanas are done and this truth is realized, vasanas are purified, he enjoys Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukti means no situation becomes so overpowering for him that he gets carried away by that situation. Absolute freedom. That is mentioned by this. Tasya tavadeva chiram yavanna vimokshe atha sampatse. And at the same time, after this physical body is given up, he is not reborn again. That is the second result, which is called as Videha Mukti. So what is Swamiji trying to say here? Tatparya is in this phalam also. Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti, they are not possible without knowledge of Advitiya Vastu. If somebody takes Ahankara as Satyam, somebody takes Ahankara as Satyam and then tries to attain Jivan Mukti. Shvetashvetra Upanishad, it is said, it is just like, or he says, Upanishad Rishi says, such kind of result is possible only if you can roll up the sky and put it under your armpit. If that is possible, then Jivan Mukti, keeping Ahankara as Satyam, is possible. Meaning what? Without Advitiya Vastu Jnanam, which is the Tatparya of Shastra, such a phalam is not possible. That is the main connection over here. One limb is phalam. But if you pay attention to that phalam, you will come to know that Advitiya Vastu alone is the Tatparya. And Videha Mukti, if Ahankara is there, desires will be there. If desire is there, that desire itself will take us to future dehas. If Ahankara is there, Sanchita Karma is there. Past karma, whatever we have done, those are also sufficient to push us into further dehas. Therefore, the Tatparya again comes to Advitiya Vastu. Without that knowledge, Jivan Mukti is not possible and Videha Mukti is also not possible. Then the last limb, the fifth one is Arthavada. Arthavada means praise. What is the praise? Prakarana Pratipadyasya Tatra Tatra Prashamsanam Arthavadaha Yatha Tatra Eva Uta Tam Adesham Aprakshah Yena Ashrutam Shrutam Bhavati Amatam Matam Avidnyatam Vidnyatam Iti Advitiya Vastu Prashamsanam. In Phalam, we did not see the example from Kenopanishad. What will be the example? After Chakshushas Chakshuhu, Pretya Asmat Lokad Amrutaha Bhavanti. The one who has dissociated with conditionings, one who knows I am not this mind, I am not any of these sense organs, nor this body. That person is Jivan Mukta right then and there. Pretya Asmat Lokat Amrutaha Bhavanti. So Bhagavan had pointed out both these meanings in Bhashya. He said Pretya Asmat Lokad Amrutaha Bhavanti means one meaning is before that the word came Atimuchya Dhiraha. Atimuchya Dhira, he said, goes with Jivan Mukti. One is able to let go of identification with conditionings. He said that is Jivan Mukti. Pretya Asmat Lokat is Videha Mukti. Amrutaha Bhavanti. That is the phalam of Kenopanishad. Phalam mentioned in Kenopanishad. But if you pay attention to that phalam, such a result is not possible without knowledge of Advitiya Vastu. Now Arthavada. Prakarana Pratipadyasya. The main Tatparya which is there. Tatra Tatra Prashamsanam. At different places, this Tatparya will be praised. One reason of praise is the student is inspired to seek it. That is what praise does. The moment we say something and we have Mahatva Buddhi for that thing, Mahatva Buddhi means importance for that thing, we'll be inspired to seek it. We had seen this in Kenopanishad when we saw the Arthavada part. If somebody praises a food item and says, in this particular restaurant, this is the best item which is there. Arthavada. If we have Mahatva Buddhi for it, naturally next time when we go, we'll be tempted, to taste it. If somebody says, there is a great Mahatma living in Gangotri. Last time when I had gone there, I met that Mahatma and we had great satsang. 1 hour just on Shuddha Advaita Vedanta. Next time if somebody goes to Gangotri, if that person has Mahatva Buddhi for satsang, he'll say, where is that Mahatma? Where does he live? He'll make sure that he finds his kutia. In the same way, if Arthavada is done of Advitiya Vastu, and somebody is really seeking it, somebody has Mahatva Buddhi for it, that will inspire them to go and find it. Yatha Tatra Eva. So Tatra the Prashamsanam. Prashamsanam means praise, that is called as Arthavada. Just like in Chandogya Upanishad 6th chapter, यथा तत्र एव उत tam adesham aprakshya. The adesha instruction given is this. What is that? Having known that sat vastu, what will happen? Yena ashrutam shrutam bhavati. Whatever is unheard will become heard of. Ashrutam shrutam bhavati. Amatam matam. Whatever is not known will become known. Avidnyatam vidnyatam. First one you can take it as amatam matam. What is not understood will be understood. Avidnyatam, vidnyatam means whatever is not perceived, that will be perceived. Avidnyatam, vidnyatam. Iti advitiya vastu prashamsanam. This kind of praise is done of advitiya vastu. Now this will not appeal to somebody who is not seeking that advitiya vastu. But if somebody is seeking that advitiya vastu, he will realize that there is absolute contentment if one knows this advitiya vastu. Whatever is unheard of, everything becomes heard of. There is no discontentment regards to ashruta. Whatever is unknown becomes known. This is such a great result is there, knowing this satvastu. So that part is called as Arthavada. Now Kenopanishad, what is Arthavada there? Iha cheda vedit atha satyamasti na chediha vedin mahati vinashtihi. Iha cheda vedit atha satyamasti. Having had this human body, if one knows this absolute truth, which is pratibodha viditam matam, which is shrotrasya shrotram, then everything is good. And the supreme most purpose of human life, that Upanishad mantra says, is to know this absolute truth. If that is done, everything is okay. If it is not done, then great opportunity lost. Nachet yahavedin mahati vinashtihi. Great opportunity is lost. This is called as Arthavada. Last limb is there, which we will see in the next session. Yukti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.